Will everyone please stand for the class procession?
Class, left, face. Class, present, hunt.
My pleasure to introduce to you Training Coordinator Mark Shelton, who will sing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Class, order, hunt.
Forward. Hook. Post. Colors. Two. Face. Forward. Hook.
Deputy Commissioner, I present to you the 118th Vermont Correctional Academy. I'd like to welcome all of you today to the graduation ceremonies from the 118th Vermont Correctional Academy. Time for our department to come together with friends and family and members of our communities to celebrate as this new class joins the ranks of correctional officers in our facilities. Over the last 5 weeks, the 118th is worked very hard. It's a very demanding educational, physical experience. This class brought a lot of great experience with them. Again, we bring to the table in this class past correctional experience, law enforcement experience, military experience, all coming together to make this fine group of officers that are graduating today. I'd like to introduce the panel on stage. All the way to my right is Mark Batanis, the superintendent of the Southern State Correctional Facility, Bill Lawhorn, who is the director of our facilities, and Lisa Menard, deputy commissioner of the Vermont Department of Corrections. Over the period of the 5 weeks, we watched the class for a couple of different reasons. One is that we like to see who is stepping up to be our class leader, and certainly under, as I mentioned, the academic challenges, who is really stepping up academically and who's going to be our class valedictorian. We have what's called our Academy Achievement Awards, and we'd like to recognize a couple of those people. Could I have Todd Mayer on the stage, please? Officer Todd Mayer. Thank you. For outstanding leadership, Todd Mayer for demonstrating superior leadership qualities and providing outstanding service during the 118th Vermont Correctional Academy. I present to you this Outstanding Leadership Award. Thank you very much, officer.
Thank you, sir.
Could I have Jesse Wright on the stage, please? Over the course of the 5 weeks, academically, they take 17 tests. They have numerous physical assessments that they are doing during those 5 weeks. It goes right down to the end, though, as to figure out who's the class valedictorian. Oftentimes, the high achievers in the class are literally separated by tenths of a point. And we're proud to say that class valedictorian Jesse Wright for accumulating the highest GPA of 98.6 during the 118th Vermont Correctional Academy. Congratulations. The next task that we're going to have is that in week 5, I challenged the class to pick who amongst them they believe best exemplifies who a Vermont correctional officer is. And they nominate their own to be the class speaker. And we had a nomination from the class, and the staff, certainly the Academy, agree that class speaker Robert Purnell has been chosen by the Academy. Mr. Purnell.
Thank you,
Mr. Purnell. Your speech.
Welcome and good morning, honored guests, friends, family, and fellow staff. First, let me say great job to the graduates of the 118th Vermont Correctional Academy. Also, let me say thank you to all the friends and family of the class who have come out today to celebrate the graduation of their loved ones. I want to thank the staff members of the Training Academy, Mr. William Cathcart, the Academy's Training Center Administrator, Mr. Jonathan Leibold, Academy Training Coordinator, and for all the training assistants and instructors for the dedicated work in the past several weeks. To you, the families and friends, thank you. I know you have missed us while we were here in the Academy. Your personal support cannot be underestimated. I know that you are very proud of what we recruits have accomplished. The class began our new careers 6 weeks ago at our prospective facilities. This consisted of following an experienced correctional officer around. This is called Shadow Week. We were getting some idea of what was to come. The week gave each of us a chance to know where we would be working, a little of what we would be doing, and an opportunity to consider the career we have chosen. Everyone that started the Shadow Week showed up for the first day of training at the Academy in Lyndonville. We stood outside the building in the parking lot, not knowing what to expect, each of us knowing only the people from our own facilities. Slowly, over the next 5 weeks of the academy, each of us became part of a team. To you, my fellow graduates, I do not know what brought each of you to corrections, but getting to know each of you over these weeks, I am glad that we have come together. You are becoming a member of a large and very professional organization. Now being at the end, we can reflect upon what we have learned and done. Each of us is responsible for two things. First, we are responsible for the care, custody, treatment of people who are incarcerated. While we call them inmates, they are people just like you and me. They depend upon us, and how we treat them is important. Inmates will often make your job difficult and frustrating. You may get angry at them, annoyed with them, and perhaps even feel threatened by them. It is our responsibility to remain professional at all times, especially during the most difficult of times. The second element of responsibility is that you must take upon yourselves is to support and protect one another. Inside a facility, we need to watch out for one another, to work together, both with uniformed officers and with the remaining staff. Remember that each day will bring a new challenge. Learn from each of those challenges. I ask that you consider the following concepts. Treat everyone as you would want him or her to treat you. Listen before you act or react. Don't be afraid to ask for help. That is how we learn. Make sure you laugh at least once a day. Laughter is healthy. Do not take your facility challenges home, and do not bring your personal challenges to work. Lastly, remember that you are a professional correctional officer. Respect that title, and you will get respect back. I have found that you must have honor and integrity in this career, and everything else will fall into place. The little things you say and do while at your facilities go a long way, and who knows the long-term impact you may have upon inmates that you come into contact with. Always go above and beyond. Take pride in your work and compare yourself to the best. Don't settle to be just better than the worst. Desire to excel. It has been an honor and a privilege to meet, get to know each of you, and succeed through the academy with you. Thank you and congratulations.
Some great remarks from our class speaker who comes to us with 20 years of corrections experience from another state. So looking forward to seeing you on the job. And at this time, we're going to move on to the certificate presentations.
Class, attention. Class, right face.
Richard Adams. Brandon Bergeron. Tyler Blake. Darby Cheney. duel. Donna Everbeck. Andrew Gibo. James Hance. Jed Harrison. Tama Heitman. Evan Hicks. Matt Keith.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Timothy Lampman. Jonathan Larson. Benjamin Levitt. Sean McGuire. Todd Mayer. Caleb McIntyre. Angela Phillip. Robert Purnell. Brandy Sullivan. Jesse Wright.
Class, take seats.
It's my pleasure to introduce William Lawhorn, Director of our facilities, who will administer the oath of the correctional officer to the class.
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
So the oath of office, this is not just a ceremonial part of graduation where I read off the oath and you repeat the words that I say. This is a moment in your brand new career that you publicly are going to stand before your family, the administration of the department, and you're going to make a promise. You're making that promise not only to yourselves, but to the Deputy Commissioner and to the people of the great state of Vermont, that you're accepting the responsibilities of being a correctional officer, that you're going to honor the badge that you wear, and that you're going to fulfill the obligation of being a public servant. So think about that when you repeat the words that I say. And ask that you raise your right hand. As you repeat after me, think about the promise you're making, and make sure that you mean it. I, and state your name.
I,
Acknowledge this oath and the badge of my profession
acknowledge this oath and the badge of my profession
as symbols of the public trust in my ability and commitment
as symbols of the public trust in my ability and commitment
to provide for the public safety as a professional correctional officer,
to provide for the public safety as a professional correctional officer.
I agree to maintain the highest ethical standards
I agree to maintain the highest ethical standards
and serve the Vermont Department of Corrections to the best of my ability.
and serve the Vermont Department of Corrections to the best of my ability.
I freely accept this responsibility
I freely accept this responsibility
and swear to uphold the humanitarian and legal principles
and swear to uphold the humanitarian and legal principles
of the corrections profession throughout my career.
of the corrections profession throughout my career.
Congratulations. Please lower your hand and welcome to the Vermont Department of Corrections.
Class, take seats. It's my pleasure to introduce you at this time our keynote speaker for today's graduation ceremony, Superintendent of the Southern State Correctional Facility, Mark Patanis.
I have to put my glasses on or I can't see anything. "22 today?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
All right. That some achieve great success is proof that all others can achieve it as well. Those words were spoken by Abraham Lincoln. All right? Remember that as you go through. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowances for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet look too good nor talk too wise. 1909, Rudyard Kipling wrote those words. I included that for Director Simons, who happens to be a fan. But they're important words because they talk about really what you have to do going forward. You've made a decision. The decisions to enter the department as correctional officers. And every decision that we make in life has consequences. Some are good, some are neutral, and some are bad. And you've all made that decision recently. Now you've completed the first step. In August of '97, almost 15 years ago to the day, I was sitting where you are now. And I was wondering what my immediate future would bring. Look around you. Everyone here started somewhere. Everyone. Today's your new starting point. Mr. Purnell had some great words today. One of the words that was implied was responsibility. By definition, it's acting on one's own initiative or authority. It's a huge word. Lincoln also said, you cannot escape the responsibility of tomorrow by evading it today. It is important to be responsible because by choosing to be responsible, you improve your life. When you act responsibly, people will learn to trust you and do what you will do what you will say you can and be counted on. Responsibility consists of duty and obligation that one owes to another or to oneself. One can direct the responsibility towards family, towards friends, or to your employer and your fellow workers. That's key, because your fellow workers are going to count on you all the time. Responsibility results in positive character traits that demonstrate a high degree of unselfishness. It also teaches each person that there remains something above and beyond him or her to care about. Responsibility can consist of moral, legal, mental, or physical obligations. All jobs, by their very nature, are responsibility. It's part of what a job is. Being a correctional officer is a huge responsibility. It is a static environment with fluid dynamics. It is a place where everyone can make a difference if they choose to. Earlier this year, April of this year, an officer on his first day of OJT participated in a life-saving event for an inmate in my facility. He earned a Preservation of Life Award with 5 other officers. His first day of OJT. The way you carry yourself affects everyone around you. The way that you communicate with other staff and inmates in our charge also affects everyone. Don't fall into negativity. Just one problem employee can damage the performance and hurt the morale of our entire team. And the team is bigger than your shift. The team's the entire department. Don't create unnecessary conflict. There's enough natural conflict in our environment already. Smile and laugh. Laughter's a good thing. Perform at least to your capability and strive for being above the line. See it and own it. Some days are better than others. Some days you're going to work too many hours. I guarantee that. You're going to wonder why you took the job. Some days everyone will argue with you and seemingly everything. Most of it, something you'll have no control about at all. You'll come to work in ice storms, blizzards, or last year in hurricanes. There are no roads, 100 degrees. Units are like brick ovens. Although a couple of air conditioners. We're 24/7. We don't close. You will give time from your lives and your families to make the lives of everybody else safer. And there will be the unforeseen acts of excellence that occur daily inside the facility that no one says thank you for. You'll respond to 1033s, and you'll care for each other and watch each other's backs. The responsibilities are absolutely enormous. Human lives, nothing short of that. There's nothing bigger, nothing more important. Integrity. Have integrity. Integrity is the adherence to moral and ethical principles, a soundness of moral character, honesty. Integrity is doing the right thing even when no one else is watching. If you have integrity, you're trustworthy. If you can't trust someone, do you want to be around them? Our department continually faces challenges. Population issues, legal issues, staffing issues, financial issues, and moral dilemmas. Our department continually faces change. Change because of new laws, change because of events like hurricanes, change because of new staff, change because of new inmates. Some changes for the best. We have to make the best of change no matter what its driving force is. The only way you can do that is by teamwork and hard work. It's not easy. Jacob Neusner is often celebrated as one of the most published authors in history. He's written more than 950 books. He's a member of the Institute for Advanced Study in Princeton and a life member of Clare Hall at Cambridge University. and he is the only scholar to have served on both the National Endowment for the Humanities and the National Endowment for the Arts. He wrote these words: "Do not expect success that comes from easy accomplishment and ready recognition. What will justify the effort if all there is before you is defeat and renewed struggle? You must learn to expect success in order to justify your efforts. You must learn to need only to think the effort necessary, whatever the outcome. Great things are not accomplished by the shouters, but by the workers." That's a really important line. Great things are not accomplished by the shouters, but by the workers. But to learn to work, that is a hard task indeed. You're going into a new world. It's a large world. And it's never ending, but it's always changing. You don't know what each day is going to bring. But you have to have the right attitude. The attitude that you carry affects everyone. Thomas Jefferson wrote, "Nothing can stop the man with the right mental attitude from achieving his goal. Nothing on earth can help the man with a wrong mental attitude." He's a pretty smart guy. Congratulations and welcome to the department.
Thank you very much, Mark. It's just about time to close out the ceremony for today. I appreciate the friends and families of the graduates being here. I encourage you to work together as they begin these careers and continue to work together long after that. They're taking on a job that has many rewards and many challenges, as we've mentioned, and I encourage you to work hard together to make that happen. I'd like to thank the facilities and the field offices for sending staff to the academy to instruct and be training assistants. It's much appreciated as always. I'd like to thank the staff of the HRD unit, Michaela and Ross and Mark and John. I appreciate all your support in the academy operations. I know that it's a long 5 weeks. I want to thank my boss, Heather Simons, who is always very supportive in making sure that we get what we need to get the job done. And so thank you very much to all of you. It's now time for our class recessional. Could everyone please stand?
Tree, coat. Deal. Wait. Forward. Up. Detail. Hop. Ready. Push. Forward. Up.